Hey there, welcome back. I plan to dehydrate onions.
I'm gonna dehydrate them and keep them chopped up consistency, but then I'm gonna try my hand at powdering some of them. So I have onion powder to go in sour cream for French onion dip. Otherwise, if they're like in the just chopped up like little flakes, I
Put those in soups, rehydrate them like your meatloaf,
taco meat, beef stews, or chili.
This is only my second thing that I have dehydrated. The first thing I did was make the
beef jerky, which turned out really great.
I'm gonna be dehydrating frozen onions because I found them on a great sale over at Kroger.
And I'll begin right now. First of all, I want to apologize for my voice. In the past couple of videos, I had a very bad virus, which was not COVID. I did the test, but it was bad. It lasted about a month. I'm showing you this pre-cut parchment paper that I get at Dollar Tree. And here's a rack that goes in my Kasori dehydrator. I cut it to fit, but you could fold it over. These are the onions I found at Kroger. It's their brand, store brand. They're already chopped up. Of course, they've already been blanched. They're frozen, so I just kind of shake them out here. I'm going to try to fit a whole bag on each rack. It's a 12-ounce bag, and on sale they were $1. I'm showing you an onion peel here. Some of these bags have a couple of these in there. No big deal. I just pick them out. But if you're wondering why that first bag just wasn't full, I had used it to make some breakfast burritos the other day. So I'm going to try to fit this whole bag plus that partial bag I already put on. I begin in the middle and just tap them down lightly and work them out towards the edges. Not the very edges, because when they dry, they're going to be like real tiny and lightweight, and they might kind of blow around. So I'm not going to put them all the way out to the edge. At this point, I'll start speeding the video up for you so you don't have to, painstakingly watch me go and do this on 6 different racks. So I'll speed it up real fast right here. All right, and presto changeo, I have all 6 trays loaded up. I'm gonna put them in the dehydrator, as you see, and then I'm gonna turn it on for 135 degrees for about 8 hours. And now I am super excited because I opened the door and I checked a few of them. They're crumbly and crisp. They're falling to pieces very much like they should be. I'm demonstrating here for you just a few of the biggest pieces, showing you how dry they are, and that's how they should be.
After 8 hours, this is how they looked. Most of them look very dry, but when I touched the biggest ones, they still felt a little bit soft. I'm gonna put these back in here overnight. Well, I'm about to head to bed. So I'm just going to put them on for another 3 hours. When I get up in the morning, if they look completely dry, then I'll take them out.
Good morning, and they are all dry. I got them all back out again. I'm going to try to just put them in this quart jar like they are. I'm just going to take the parchment paper and try to fold it, curve in the edges. But I noticed the onions actually stick to it a little bit, so I have to work with it, and they all turn loose from the parchment paper real easy. But I'm telling you, I just had to work with it a bit and fold it in kind of like a cone shape, so I didn't even need a funnel for my quart jar because I have the wide mouth, as you can see there. Then I bend the parchment paper up like this and just let it fall right in. There's one. Here's number 2. 3, tray number 4, or 5, and it's even going to hold tray number 6, all in this 1 quart jar. Perfect. I want it to be dry and flaky just like this, nothing sticking together. At this point, I can put a lid on it, and any lid, and put it in a dark, cool place. But what I want to do is seal it. And I don't have one of those expensive vacuum sealers, that all the stores ran out of, the electric ones. Instead, I chose this vacuum chamber from Heidi. And Patrick, her husband, made it over there at Rain Country, her YouTube channel. So he made this part here. Just put the jar, any size jar in here. Well, up to this quart size. But even I put my small ones in here. I bought this brake bleeder separately. It's a hand pump thing. You can pump it like that. I like to put it on the counter, and then really I'm just using one hand and pushing against the counter. And I take it up to, I think, around 300 psi, and then just take it out of there. And then I always do a little test after I pull the jar out to make sure it did get the vacuum seal. And then it'll just keep longer, I think fresher as well with this nice vacuum seal on it. Push that out of the way. See how nothing's sticking together. Still, it's just rolling around. There's no humidity in there at all. And take the ring off just to do the test. Hold it by the lid, and you can see it is vacuum tight.
I go back every day and check the dehydrated ones to give them a roll, make sure there's no clumping. These are still very dry, they're good. So do that to like proof them, or whatever the word is, to make sure they're not going to be clumping together. They're still very dry, and now they're ready to powder if I want to, or just leave them on a dark shelf.
But I am super excited to make this onion powder, my very first. I'll open up this can with a regular ordinary can opener. I must confess, this is my very first time using this blender. It's like a Ninja blender, has the bullet thing, and it's a food processor. But I'm going to use these little cups, you know, that you would make smoothies in, and just randomly just pour in as much as I want, which looks like about 2/3 of that quart. Fit right in there comfortably with still room for the blender thing to go in. I'm going to seal it up and stick it on there, and then figure out how to use this thing. I'm not even sure which buttons to press first. I do know it can't go past that max fill right there. I reseal my onion flakes, but I'll have to use the vacuum chamber sealer later. Now, let's see if I can figure this thing out, because I'm terrible. I didn't read the directions, but power button, and then I want to do the pulse, because I learned from Darcy over there at the Purposeful Pantry. She's like all about dehydrating, so you can't press it too long or the blades get too hot and then cause whatever you're chopping up to get moisture from the heat. So you just do little pulses at a time. And oh dear Lord, how fun was that? That is just easy and powerful. Looks like it's just easy cleanup and everything. I mean, it's small, it's easy to attach and detach. Now, she says always to like knock it down and give it a second, because there's going to be a lot of little fine particles of powder, and you don't want to get a nose full of that when you open it.
Ooh, it smells good.
I plan to store it in this little pint jar, because that's all I have on hand right now, but it's really kind of big. I guess if you were going to make powders, the smaller containers might be better. I'm concerned about these pieces here that didn't really get chopped up real fine like powder, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back in and give it a couple more chops. Since this is repetitive, I'm going to speed it up for you. I'm just going to give it 2 or 3 little pulses, because I'm afraid of it. You know, I don't want it to overheat and you get any kind of clumping, because then you can't use it. So I've learned a lot of stuff over there, like I said, from Darcy on the Purposeful Pantry, and I'm just trying to do it like she does it. And boy, does this smell good. I am raking all that onion powder off of the rim so I can get a good seal on it and also not lose any. It looks a lot better, but it still has some of those bigger things. I'm just not going to chop it anymore. I like it. For the next 2 or 3 days, I'll go back to the pantry shelf and just turn it, make sure there's no clumps forming. According to Darcy, that's called conditioning. When I use parchment paper and I do vegetables, I don't even wash the trays. I just stick them back in the dehydrator for storage.
Well, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of the video, and if you did, please subscribe Maybe give me a thumbs up down there, leave a comment, and the best way you can help me is share my video. Until I see you again, bye-bye.